Every day in the USA, people find themselves in court.
The court will call the case of the state of Michigan versus Cole Leonard, 21S00757.
Tiffany Woods for the people.
Good morning, Your Honor. James King on behalf of Mr. Leonard, who's present via Zoom and consents to being present via Zoom. Mr. Leonard, can you please state your name for the record? You're muted, sir. If you can't unmute, you may have to ask the officers to unmute you.
Cole Leonard.
Thank you. All right, we're here for a violation of probation today. Apparently, Mr. Cole Leonard was arraigned by the magistrate on June 20th. The allegation is that Mr. Cole Leonard was found guilty of operating while impaired on March 9th. Is this 2023 or 2025?
I believe it's 2020, found guilty, I believe on 2025, Your Honor.
All right. So this particular case is a moving violation causing death. And he pled as charged to this on May 4th of 2023. At the time, he also was found guilty of another operating while impaired on March 9th of 2023 in the 20th District Court. And since he's been on probation here, he has a new case that he pled guilty on April 16th of 2025. And that's in Dearborn Heights. So that is the allegation of a violation of his probation, which is a non-technical violation for which he could get his probation revoked, and he would be sentenced to, he could be sentenced to the maximum penalty, which is 365 days in the Washtenaw County Jail. It appears he has 84 days served. He's entitled to have a hearing on whether these allegations are true or not. Do you know what your client wishes to do?
Yes, Your Honor. I believe at this time, Mr. Leonard wants to admit and accept responsibility with explanation.
Let me be very clear. I don't see what explanation would sway me with respect to the recommendation in this case. Mr. Cole Leonard was told at the time that he pled to this case that he had one opportunity to keep it together. He caused a death, and I take that very seriously. So I intend to follow the recommendation, just so you know, Mr. King.
I understand, Your Honor. If the court, what's the soonest date that would be available for a hearing on this matter? Actually, strike that, Your Honor. To be completely candid with the court, there was an allegation that Mr. Leonard did in fact plead to. I'm not sure it would be in the interest of judicial economy or of Mr. Cole to have a hearing on a matter that he's already pled guilty to and accept responsibility to. If the court's only consideration at that date would be as to whether or not the actual allegations in the report are true. I understand the court's position at this point in time with regards to being persuaded by anything that's said by defense counsel or Mr. Cole. I'd ask the court to at least consider hearing us out with regards to the way in which this came about and the things Mr. Cole did prior to having the warrant issued for his arrest. I think that if the court does hear some of those things, it may consider either a lesser sentence or at least an extension of the probation to be allowed to have one more opportunity to show this court that he is able to abide by any conditions set forward.
Mr. King, I will always hear folks out. So that's a given. But like I said, this is a new drinking and driving offense. So it's gonna be hard. You'll be hard pressed to change my mind about my decision in this, but I will hear you out. Mr. Leonard? My understanding, you're going to waive your right to have a hearing and you're going to admit to violating your probation by having a new operating while intoxicated case. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Please raise your right hand and be sworn. Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to provide will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Is it true, sir? You were drinking and driving again and got convicted of that?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. I find that there's a willing and knowing admission to the violation. Are you satisfied, Ms. Woods?
Yes, Judge.
Mr. King, are you satisfied?
I am, Your Honor.
Thank you. So, what is it you want to say on behalf of Mr. Leonard?
Yes, Your Honor. I'd like to make a couple points. One, in fact, that Mr. Leonard had been abiding by all the conditions of this court for a significant amount of time prior to the allegations in this incident. Once he was arrested and released for this matter, he contacted me immediately, and not just for the purposes of legal representation, but also because he needed help and didn't know where to go. And so I pointed Mr. Leonard in the direction of Alcoholics Anonymous and also a therapist for him to see with regards to the issues that he was facing at that time that caused him to relapse. Although this is a driving infraction that included alcohol, I'd like to make a note to the court that the court that's already sentenced Mr. Cole knew of all of his circumstances and the situations that he was facing, also knew the facts of the case, which included another individual inside of the car. There were no allegations that Mr. Cole was driving recklessly or that he had put anyone in danger at the point in which he was pulled over. Mr. Cole also was completely complying with the officers when he was arrested. So the way the process worked out, Your Honor, was after Mr. Cole relapsed and started his treatment, a significant amount of time went by before the actual warrant was sent out for the new matter. And once it was, we went to the courthouse and explained all the things that Mr. Leonard had been doing to not only accept responsibility for his actions, but also to get the help that was needed. Mr. Leonard comes before this court with a tremendous amount of family support. Dare I say, they reach out to my office. And Mr. Leonard and I have been in contact and communication with each other since the early months of this year. I've spoken to either him or someone from his family maybe twice a week at minimum. Since then, since he's been incarcerated, I'll get calls from his family at least 3 times a week, asking what they can do to support. I know his mom was in the waiting room this morning. I'm not sure if she was able to get in today. I don't see her name listed here, but she definitely was present and contacted me throughout the morning. I tried to echo some of the things I'm telling the court right now to his probation officer when that person found out about the new violation, that removing Mr. Leonard from the treatment that he was getting at this point in time would kind of be detrimental, because regardless of what the court sentence would be, eventually he's going to be releasing the community. And I understand that there's an issue with regards to deterrence as far as sentencing goes. But I think what's most important for someone like Mr. Leonard is the treatment that we had him in and the treatment that he can get if he's allowed to get back to it sooner rather than later. One of the benefits of Mr. Cole is that he is gainfully employed, although he has been incarcerated for, I think, almost 2 months now. He still has a job that is ready and available for him when he is released. If he is released sooner as opposed to later, I'm not sure he still have the opportunity to have that job if he's not released for another 10 months. But as it stands right now, his family and I were able to verify employment if he were to be able to receive such. He also is not only someone who emotionally supports his family, but Mr. Leonard contributes to the bills that his mom is faced with on a monthly basis. Since he's been incarcerated, the family has undergone a significant amount of problems, not just inconvenience, but problems, as would come with anyone who is faced with a significant amount of bills. Mr. Leonard completely accepts responsibility, Your Honor, and I think that that's apparent through his actions before the warrant was issued in the new case, and also before the warrant was issued in this case. There was a gap in time between the two. Mr. Leonard had been arrested. Time had gone by. He accepted responsibility while undergoing treatment. Before he was ordered by the court to do so, he was going through treatment. And then he accepted responsibility and was placed on probation in front of that judge in Dearborn. And then again, some time had went by before this court was made aware that Mr. Leonard had another conviction. And so once he had accepted responsibility for that, he was right back into treatment and doing well for a significant amount of time before he had to turn himself in. And he attempted to do so on more than one occasion. He and I actually made arrangements to come down to the to the county jail. Strike that, Your Honor. So I think it was the precinct we were supposed to go to. And we went down there to turn Mr. Cole in. They told us that the warrant hadn't been received yet, so they didn't have any documentation for him. He had every opportunity at that point in time to flee, to leave, to not accept responsibility. I think at that point in time, we had figured out that Mr. Cole had a job opportunity in Ohio that he was preparing to leave for, and had living arrangements out there as well. Excuse me, but he didn't go. Instead, he waited until the documentation was there for him to be able to get there, turn himself in, and accept responsibility for these actions. I don't think those are the actions of someone who does not understand what's wrong. I will submit to the court as well that while we were speaking about the need for therapy, it was the fact that Mr. Cole understood that he had caused the death some time ago that still stays with him. And he knows that it's a problem, and it's something I think needs to be addressed with a tremendous amount of therapy and sessions and maybe even medication, because that's not something that people like Mr. Cole go through on a regular basis, or even see in their lives or the lives of their loved ones. And it's hard for him. I mean, and during this process, he also lost a brother that kind of brought him back to that same place of mind. And so I don't mean to be long-winded, Your Honor. I think that in most cases like these, with this type of case and this type of probation, I would come before this court with different words and just we'd accept responsibility. I'd let my client speak, and I may say a few things to the court so that it can be taken into consideration. But this is a case in which I seriously think Mr. Cole is in need of some help. And I'm not sure that can be either assessed or treated with a significant amount of jail time. And so Mr. Cole himself had prepared something that he wanted to say to the court. And I told him that I would hope that the court would be able to hear him out. And if the court had any questions, again, most of the time I advise my clients not to speak, or at least to let me do the talking and say something, and not to answer any questions without at least clearing it with me first. But I think Mr. Cole is somebody that the court can ask questions to if you have any of him after he makes whatever statement he wants to the court.
Before he speaks, the prosecutor has an opportunity to speak, but I'll tell you this, that the dad was in the waiting room, and maybe the mom was at some point too, but people don't come into this courtroom. That's not how it works. If they wanted to provide any additional documentation to the court, it should have been submitted through a letter. So they don't come in. They can watch it on YouTube, and the father was let in once we knew who he was. He was told that he needs to watch it on YouTube. He has subsequently tried to come in again, but he will not be allowed into the virtual courtroom. If it was an actual courtroom, it would be the same thing. We don't typically have parents come in speaking for adults. If they want to submit something for the court's consideration, it has to be in written form. Ms. Woods?
Thank you, Judge. Judge, it's clear this defendant is a danger not only to himself, but to the public. He killed someone. He was driving 90 miles per hour on his cell phone. He had 6 previous crashes before that. Now he has 2 OWIs. We've tried to get him help through probation in this court. He missed numerous tests, tested late. I agree. I think he's in need of inpatient treatment, but we can't force him to get sober and make good choices. And he's not making good choices, and he is a danger. He should be in jail. If the court is to release him after any substantial jail time, I would ask it to be to inpatient treatment. Because he's shown this court time and time again. I mean, how bad does it have to get? He's already killed someone. I don't think it gets any worse than that. He is an absolute danger, Judge, to everyone out there, based on his substance abuse disorder that he refuses to get help for, and his poor decision-making, Judge. I mean, this is a hard one, Judge. I'd leave it to the court's discretion. Thank you.
May I say one last thing before the court hears from Mr. Cole, Your Honor?
Certainly.
And this may be doing a little bit too much, but I'd be remiss if I didn't at least mention this case. Kind of the reason why I took this case is because it kind of hits home for me. I had an uncle who was doing well, who had no allegations of alcohol when he had an accident. He killed a little girl and lived with my family and was a raging alcoholic for over a decade because of it. And the way the courts addressed his situation was a month out, a month in, months in, months in, a few months out. He never really got the treatment that he needed. And so it lingered with him until he remarried almost 2 decades later. Mr. Cole's situation screams at me the same things that I saw in that man, and that being that obviously what happened with Mr. Cole was an accident. And it is something that sits with him and something that he has to deal with all the time. I don't disagree with the prosecutor with regards to the fact that he needed to understand that what happened is not okay and be punished for it. What I'm asking the court is, I understand that it would be somewhat a slight to the decedent in this case to just slap Mr. Cole on the wrist and say, hey, no harm, no foul, go home. And I understand that he has at least 10 months left with regards to his probationary sentence. I'm asking the court at this point in time to give him the inpatient treatment right now as opposed to jail time. And for the same reasons that I believe he's going to explain to the court when he gets a chance to talk. But he is going to be released at some point in time, Your Honor, back into the community. And so I don't think 9 months of jail and 30 days of treatment is going to do the things or undo the things that have been done here in this case. And at that point, I digress. I'm sorry if I did too much. I let the court hear from Mr. Cole.
Well, actually, I wanted to say something to you, which will maybe inform Mr. Cole's statements to me. As we sit here today, he is sentenced and standing in front of this court on a moving violation causing death, having it appear as though it was an accident. And it was an accident. There's no question that it was an accident, but it wasn't a standard accident. Mr. Cole was doing 90 miles per hour, texting and driving. And the truth of the matter is that there's no proof of it, and that's why it wasn't charged this way. But when you review the report, it appears that there could have been drugs involved, but unfortunately, based on the investigation, that wasn't checked properly at the time. That is one of the concerns that I had. And to be doing 90 miles per hour while you're texting in and of itself is a problem. Sometimes accidents happen. You make the wrong turn, you miss the light. But this was speeding down the highway 90 miles per hour while you're texting at the same time. That's not just an accident, that is extremely poor decision-making that caused a loss of life. And I've heard an awful lot about how his family is affected. My concern at this point is for the future of families to come, as well as for the family of the man who is now deceased. And I think it was a man. That part I can't remember clearly. The loss and the way they are affected can never be fixed. He was given a second opportunity to try to show, out of respect for that man, that person, that human, that he was going to get his life together. And instead, we're sitting here with another charge of getting behind the wheel, endangering the lives of other people. It's the nature of the offense that he committed. That is the reason why I'm so challenged to do anything other than give him the time. Now, Mr. Leonard, having heard what I have to say, what do you have to say?
Mr. King pretty much said a lot of it for me, but I am very remorseful for what happened in 2020. And yes, it has been on my mind every single day for the past almost 5 years in October. And I'm ashamed and embarrassed to say that I didn't learn my lesson the first time. But I believe and I know I learned my lesson this time. Yes, I have been seeking therapy. I've been doing meetings. I've been doing everything I can since this happened and actually taking it seriously and trying to take the steps to become a better person mentally and get the help that I believe that I need. And ever since actually taking these steps and taking them seriously, I have felt truly better mentally about things these past few months than I have the past 5 years. And I'm truly sorry. Basically, I don't know. I wrote a bunch of stuff down, but yeah, thank you for hearing me out, Yana.
Listen to what you wrote down, Mr. Leonard.
What
It's
is
your
it?
life. I'll listen to what you've written down. It's your life. I take every piece of this very seriously. Every piece of it. Your life, their lives, the future of everybody. You getting the help that you need. Like your attorney said, that's the most important thing he said today, is that at some point in time, you're going to get out. And if you get out and you don't have the treatment that you need and you haven't really changed, then that's the danger too. So all of that is what I'm taking into consideration.
I do want to change. I do want to get the help that I need.
You want to try to read your letter, Mr. Leonard?
It's all over the place, this letter. Started to see a therapist after my second OWI in March, and I've been seeing one every Monday for these past couple months after that happened. And up until I had to come in here, I wish I would have started seeing her years ago after 2020, what happened, because I really feel like my life would be a whole lot different right now if I did. These past few months between the AA meetings that I've been attending, the times I started going to church and all the meetings with my therapist, I believe genuinely changed me for the better and have been changing me for the better. Even though me being in here and the bad news I've gotten these past few weeks, besides all of that, I have never felt better about myself and better mentally and more motivated to get better, to keep getting better than I have since the accident happened in October. I started to have hope. I started to believe. I started to feel motivated and determined to get back on track and become a better person. I started to genuinely feel happy. Even though I had this going on still right now, I felt like things were kind of starting to fall in place for the better. Before I came in here, I was taking the steps in becoming a better person, and I believe I truly did learn my lesson this time, and I haven't been more motivated and determined to become a better person to make something of myself and to make my loved ones proud. I have goals for myself now, and I'm ready to get better, get out, and tackle these goals. I'm done feeling embarrassed and ashamed and unhappy, and I have hope that this time around things will be different and they will be better. I'm excited to get out and continue to change for the better and have a career and be with my family. And get out and help my mom as much as I can. That was some of it. I don't know. Thank you for letting me talk, Your Honor.
I think that you need to go into long-term inpatient. And the only thing I'm mulling over in my head right now is whether I'm revoking your probation and sending you there with a long-term jail sentence, or whether I'm gonna reinstate your probation, leave you in jail until you're released to inpatient, or your family finds inpatient. I believe that you are finally trying to deal with what you did. And it's probably one of the hardest things that anyone has to come to terms with as a human. My choices have to reflect protection for the community and value for the life that is lost at the same time, while giving you what you need to be a better human in the future. So it's really hard. Because so far you've proven to me that you really haven't been able to do that. Maybe since this last incident, you are making those steps in the right direction. But becoming a productive person for you is going to be extremely challenging. I think you need more assistance than you have right now. So what I'm going to do is I am going to revoke the probation. I'm going to sentence you to 365 days in the Washtenaw County Jail. You're going to be given credit for 84 days that you've served, 281 days to be served. You may be released to an inpatient treatment program as soon as they find a bed available. That's a long term. That's not 30 days. That's 90 days or more. And they come to me before you can get released, so make sure it's 90 days or more. If you leave treatment, then you will have to finish doing the rest of your jail time. Do you understand, sir?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
I know it's not the outcome you want, but it at least allows you to get into some treatment.
Thank you. I really appreciate it.
As I said, I will assign, you should talk to people over inmate services. Patrick Not Treep is the person who makes that decision, Mr. King. You might want to make phone calls so that they can find him a treatment. As long
Patrick,
as
I
it's
think that's the
learned.
last name, Your Honor.
Nachtrieb, NACHTRIEB. Mr. Leonard, I wish you the best, and I hope that you take advantage of this opportunity, sir.
I will. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.